Hey, so to save some time, I think it's easier to address these questions in a little video. Positioning text elements. Yeah, so of course, we can drag and drop text elements like any other element. So we can move it from one column to the next. And you are specifically asking about the positioned layers container. So this is the positioned layers container where we can add text as well. And we can drag and drop the text within the container like this. So I guess that answers your question. You can see the position is saved in the anonymous view as well. Font size and color responsive to resolution. How can I change the font size and color based on screen resolution? So the DXPR Builder is a tool built for Drupal with as main audience non-technical people, so content editors, marketers. What you see in, for example, many WordPress page builders is that a different audience is addressed. So in WordPress page builders, they build tools for web designers who will build an entire website with the page builder. So in Drupal, the typical setup is for there to be an IT team that controls the theme and a team of content editors that edits pages and builds new pages. So in our philosophy, the page builder should not have any features that are highly technical, such as breakpoint specific settings. If any settings are breakpoint specific, they should be addressed in the theme with custom CSS by the developers. And the developers can control these um, responsive settings globally on the website or globally for specific content types. This lets us keep the editing experience accessible to non-technical people. Resizing image dimensions. How can I resize image dimensions within the layout, especially in scenarios? So I'm not sure what problem we are having with images. So here's an image. How do I resize the image dimensions in the layout? The image should just adapt to the dimensions of the container it's in. And this will also be responsive automatically. So if I make this container smaller, it will resize. And there's no distortion, as you can see. So if you're having a specific problem with image distortion, you should probably make a support ticket for this. For this, I refer to my previous answer about breakpoints being a feature that doesn't fit in the XPR Builder based on our design philosophy. How can I resize section or row widths, specifically particular resolutions? Yeah, so this is another thing where I suggest using custom CSS. Yeah, so our carousel option is probably the most customizable tool we have. So we can enable two types of navigation, the next previous links and the dots navigation. These are next previous links, these are the dots. And we do have customization options available for both these navigation types. So within the limitations of the settings we offer here, these are the dots changing shape. You can actually customize the look and feel of the carousel. Anything you want to change beyond what is possible in the settings belongs in custom CSS. Handling images with multiple dimensions. I don't really understand the question here, so maybe you can send an email to clarify. So for this, I would recommend using a Drupal plugin that is designed to handle API data. The carousel in our page builder is not capable of integrating with API data, and it's not designed for this. So we do have an animation engine that you can use to hide elements on hover, but I'm not really sure what you mean by child elements. And we also offer hover styles generally for all elements. So let me add another text element here. So we have the regular styles here. We can set the background color to red. And at the bottom on every element, we also have hover styles. So here I can set the background to gray. If I would hide this on hover, I could use the opacity slider for that probably. This renders it invisible. I'm not sure if that's what you need. And I also mentioned there's an animation engine that you can use. So with animation, I can say on hover, we want to fade out. And when we stop hovering, we want to fade in. So that's how we use the animation to achieve similar results. Guidance on adding form elements. So in the Drupal ecosystem, modularity is very important. And that's why we do not have a form builder built into DXPR Builder, but rather we suggest you use the web form module for that. And in the web form module, you can create a form and then enable a setting called create a web form block or make available as block. Once you do that, the form will be available as Drupal block in the block tab you see here. So in the demo, I think we don't have the web form module, but you can see how it works with any core form like this one. So this is how we enable forms while respecting Drupal's architecture. So yeah, this is the only responsive breakpoint-based feature we do offer. So we have built-in classes for hiding on specific breakpoints. So in the HTML classes, we have a drop-down here with some preset classes. And by the way, you can also extend this with your own classes. We have some documentation available for how to do that from either your theme or from a module. And here we can say hidden on breakpoint X or add classes to make it explicitly visible on breakpoint Y. Autoplay video with controls. So if you add a video element, I believe controls are enabled automatically. And for autoplay, I think you can use the YouTube background video tool where you can enable autoplay, which is enabled automatically in this feature, as well as enable the controls manually with an override. So with the YouTube video element, I think we don't offer autoplay, but you can create a feature request for that, and we can investigate if it's feasible with the current restrictions imposed by browsers on autoplaying videos. Min and max width for elements. So this is something we'd also consider an advanced feature that you can set with custom CSS, but not implement in the DXPR Builder. Pop-ups, not possible in the DXPR Builder. We've had a request for this before, but we feel like modal windows are not the most mobile friendly design component. And in the context of creating landing pages, we would prefer people to use tabs, collapse panels, or even the carousel for creating progressively disclosed content. But if you have a very specific use case where you absolutely need controls, model windows, you can create a feature request, and we can evaluate whether we agree it makes sense to integrate this in the DXPR Builder, or whether it is something that we consider out of scope for our product, considering its target audience. Adding DXPR to blocks. So the way it works is you have to first set up the DXPR Builder as formatter on your block. Let me show you that with the admin account. So I go to structure, block types, then you choose any block where you want to enable the DXPR Builder. Then you go to manage display. Then you set the DXPR Builder as formatter here. Ignore this. This is from the Drupal core layout builder that we don't want to interfere with our layout builder. And then in order to be able to edit a block, you first need to place it in a region, like the footer block here. It's placed in the block layout UI. So here we place it in the footer region, and after doing that, it will appear over here. So I understand it would be easier if you could just go in the custom block library, browse your custom blocks, and then view those blocks. But Drupal core currently does not offer an API to view blocks individually. So we're kind of waiting for that to happen before we can implement this.